Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I'm here with day 3 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. And today's sketch was done by Debbie Norton Barton, and her information will be below in the description box. And it is 4 pictures and a tag, and I'm thrilled because there's not a lot of sketches sometimes that have multiple pictures and that are profile pictures or portrait pictures and landscape pictures. So it makes me happy when they blend them up like this. So I have these 4 pictures of us going camping back in 2000 and I think this is 2016. I gotta hunt down the date. And so I'm not using a stitch of pattern paper, you all. I am only using solids, just cardstock that came out of my collection. And I'm going to bring some odds and ends in as well. Some recollections. I've got some stickopotamus. I'm not sure what these are, and I'm debating between this recollections and the other one. And then I have 2 pair of hiking boots, and I'm going to use one or the other, not both. And then I got some wood veneer these are from the dollar store, that I want to use, one for the title and one for where those stars are on the layout. And I thought that the clocks would work well. And I want to ink them with this Distress Oxide, so that they are not just that brown wood grain color. I haven't decided about the title at this point, so we'll see about that. And so I have my papers, my embellishments in ink. I have my pictures, and I have this cool sketch. So let's see how this goes. So first things first, I was trying to figure out how to make that layer, because it looks like it's about a wreath in the middle. So what I decided to do was take this 8.5 by 11 paper, because I couldn't find any gray in my 12 by 12. Now this worked out perfectly for me, because then I'm not wasting a full 12 by 12 sheet. But I looked through all my paper pads, all my loosey-goosey papers, and all my cardstock. I did not have a single stitch of grayish toned paper, which was weird. So that's okay. It just tells me what I need next time I go to the store. And then I wanted this brown. So I did kind of the layers when you're in the cave. You know, the outskirts are dark, and then it gets a little lighter as you get closer to the mouth of the cave. And that's where the picture is taken, obviously, because, you know, there was no, it's dark down there. I couldn't take too many pictures. So that's why I put them in the order of how they were taken. Plus I needed the landscape one to be in the middle, or I would have separated the dark pictures. And typically I try not to scrapbook too many dark pictures, at least not on my videos, but obviously we're in a cave, and so dark kind of happens. So I start with these clocks, and I picked 2 different ones instead of 2 of the same. And I'm just painting with a paintbrush on with Distress Oxide Mowed Lawn. And that is Tim Holtz. And I knew that it was going to not be as bright as when I first painted it on, which is good because I didn't want it to be too bright. I was kind of going for the green mostly in the picture on the top and the bigger picture, but also my kiddo has a green shirt on, which is a little more limey. So I'm really more towards the outdoors and the green that is around the mouth of the cave. And then I got out my black marble Delusion shimmer spray and got another paintbrush and painted the word family. Now, I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out on wood grain or wood veneer, because I had not ever painted it. It is sparkly, you all. I didn't know if it would be or not, and it is. So I did also ink the sides, especially of the word family, because I didn't want the wood grain or the wood veneer to kind of show through on the sides. So I kind of loosely painted around. And as I'm looking at it now, I don't see any of the brown from the wood. So I matted my main picture in kind of a torn bit of that dark gray that I've used. It's just a piece of the scrap from that. And then I matted on this lighter gray so it will stand out. And I don't want a lot of that brown craft paper hanging out, because that's not my favorite. But, you know, there's brown in the trees, and there's, you know, some brown in the first part of the cave and things like that. So I wanted the brown in here. I specifically picked it. but I didn't want it to be anything predominant like a main color. So most of that's covered, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So, and I'm assuming, you know, if it's a wreath, that the pictures are just coming down the wreath, but since I don't have that showing and the pictures are covering it, I wasn't worried about covering the other side. So I splatter the black marble all around, and predominantly the gray and the black and the brown. Obviously it gets in the black, but I don't care, you can't see it. And then I also come in with some Lemon Zest Illusions shimmer spray, because there is some light in the cave from where they've got lights down there for people so that, you know, we can see a little bit. And because this is at Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. And so I wanted to have a little bit of light in the darkness. And so I splatter that on there. And so now I am trying to determine where I want to put everything. So I start with that green clock up in the top left. I am going to end up bringing it down a little, even though in the sketch it is up there in the top corner, kind of where the first two layers connect. I am going to, like where I have it now, I'm going to move it down a little because I'm going to put some embellishments next to the main picture, and I want to kind of use that in that same space. So I just put these boots, these like hiking boots right here, again, to kind of cover some of the brown paper. And to bring a little embellishment up here. I'm not going to do multiple embellishment clusters. This is going to be a low-key embellishment layout. Other than the wood veneer and the boots, I'm going to add like 2 stickers. So, you know, and the title, of course. So I decided to go with the Recollections because the green is the most, it's the closest to what I'm working with in the green that I'm adding in. It does add blue, which is not on here, but I'm okay with that. And it's just a guy with a backpack, which they've got backpacks on, and he's standing there looking at a map. So I also take these Stickopotamus boot prints or hiking boot prints, and I make a trail of those coming down the page, which I thought was super cute. And then I'm going to bring that clock down to kind of overlay on the top 2 of those boot prints or tracks. Because I just thought that would make it more of a cohesive line of embellishments instead of that gap between the top of the shoe hiking area, or the hiking boot print. Let's get my words out. And where the clock is. So I am going to end up moving that down when I go to put things down with the Nouveau Deluxe. And so I also put this little pit stop next exit, and it's pointing to the cave. I thought that was cute, and it brings that same shade of green up to the top. So I like that. And of course here I have used the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive to put down both the clocks. And I believe I've already put the word family on. Originally I had it to where it was covering the picture a smidge, but not where there's loops and things. But then I changed my mind, put it up a little bit higher, because there's a lot of gravel, you know, like not gravel, but, you know, sidewalk there where we were walking. And then I add the word fun from my Mondo Llama foam alphas. And then, and since there is a journaling tag at the bottom of the pictures in the sketch, and I don't do that, I decided I'd just do a little journal with a Jelly Roll Moonlight pen in white. And that is it. I wasn't sure how this was going to turn out. This was probably my most tentative as I got started doing this, because I had no clue what I was going to use. And I'm really trying to use things like paper pads and loose papers and things like that, loose stash, because I've been heavily leaning on collections lately. So I've decided that I'm going to try and do as many as I'm happy with without them. So I love how it turned out. So I hope you all will go below in the description box. There will be a playlist for all the people that are hopping along through the month of March with 30 days of sketches with Chrissy's Beautiful Life. And any information I have on Debbie, who created this sketch, will be there as well. I hope you'll come back and hang out with me again tomorrow. I'll be here every day this month, I hope. And I am super excited. This is one of my favorite hops to participate in. The sketches are so fantastic. Have a great day and happy scrapping.